So the Trump administration, the administration that's supposedly the anti-war administration, the Republican Party, supposedly the party of peace, the party of stability, they're now planning to drop drone strikes in Mexico over the cartels. No, I'm not making this up. Yes, this is being reported by reputable sources. They're planning to blow up Mexico because of the cartels. Let's read. The Trump administration weighs drone strikes on Mexican cartels. The administration has increased surveillance flights over Mexico as it tries to track the powerful cartels that dominate the fentanyl trade. The Trump administration is considering launching drone strikes on drug cartels in Mexico as part of an ambitious effort to combat criminal gangs trafficking narcotics across the southern border, according to 6 current and former U.S. military law enforcement and intelligence officials with knowledge of the matter. Discussions among White House, Defense Department, and intelligence officials, which are still at an early stage, have included possible drone strikes against cartel figures and their logistical networks in Mexico, with the cooperation of Mexico's government, the sources have said. Still, the administration has made no final decision and reached no definitive agreement about countering the cartels, and unilateral covert action without Mexico's consent has not been ruled out and could be an option of last resort, the sources have said. It is unclear whether they floated the possibility of drone strikes to the Mexican government. Honestly, watching Dave Smith squirm on Twitter, complaining and moaning about how I can't believe Donald Trump is gearing up for war with Iran, and I can't believe Donald Trump is talking about drone strikes in Gaza and Yemen, and I can't believe... Shut the up. Like, it is disgusting to me watching Trump supporters who watch this man drone strike an Iranian general instrumental in fighting off ISIS. It's hilarious to me watching these people make excuses for Trump or create this alternate reality in which Donald Trump, they literally call this man the Prince of Peace. Blasphemy. Blasphemy. They call this man the Prince of Peace. A man who has threatened people on the internet, threatened actual world leaders with warfare. A man who is engaged in strikes. A man who has actively antagonized the Middle East on purpose. That man who cut the Palestinians out of any and all deals, the Abraham Accords, pretended like they weren't even real. That man is going to be pro-peace. That man is going to be pro-Palestine. That man is going to be pro-prosperity. These people are divorced from reality. Donald Trump, of course, is trying to plot and plan drone strikes on Mexico. Donald Trump is trying to be like, he thinks he's like McKinley. He thinks he's President McKinley. He thinks he's going to have a tariff-based economy full of American expansionism, taking over all these countries and expanding American power abroad. This fool. Forgetting the world is nuclear now, forgetting that any stupid, illogical, irrational act of war could possibly cause the end of planet Earth, Donald Trump is resolved, sending Americans to die over cartels. You're going to send Americans to die over cartels. Never mind the fact that Donald Trump sat there and levied tariffs against Canada because of drugs coming across the border. Come to find out, the United States brings far more guns and drugs over the Canadian border into Canada than vice versa. So this entire administration is incompetent, buffoonish, arrogant, disrespectful, probably dyslexic. These people can't read, can't write, can't learn. They're just stupid people. They're idiots. And now they're floating around the idea of drone striking Mexico. That's just a national security concern, not only externally, but internally. We have a significant Mexican populace that might not co-sign their home country being blown up. And this will kill civilians, by the way. We've seen how the Trump administration handles blowing up their geopolitical adversaries, right? To kill one guy in Yemen, they blew up the entire apartment complex he visited because his girlfriend was in there. They tracked him. He went to his girlfriend's apartment complex, and they blew the entire thing up to get one guy. One guy, and they're proud of that. Tulsi Gabbard over there talking about some fire. Yeah, cool. They're proud of that. They're proud of that. And now MAGA is going to pretend as though they can't believe it. They're going to sit there and pretend like there's no way. They're going to sit there and act like there's no conceivable way they could have seen this coming. When Donald Trump launches these drone strikes, they're going to sit there and act like nobody could have seen it coming, despite the fact that these ideas were being floated around for months before he was even elected. The special operations community on YouTube, all the vet bros, all the special operations guys were literally talking with glee about Donald Trump doing special operations, carrying out special operations missions in Mexico, sending SEAL team and Green Berets and all of these folks into Mexico to fight the cartels. This was shit they were co-signing. Donald Trump was floating it around before, and that is the reason why these people were co-signing it to begin with. Because Donald Trump's team was floating around the idea months before they even won. And characters like Dave Smith and many others will sit there and have you believe there's no way they could have seen it coming. Who could have thought? Who could have known? Come the fuck on, dude. Really? Really? Donald Trump would have you believe the solution is drone strikes. That's what he would have you believe. That the solution to the problem is engaging in military conflict with Mexico. And Mexico is going to have to fight back. And what I think this is not really an attempt to stop the cartels, but this is meant to goad Mexico into a war, through which Donald Trump can try to engage in expansionism and take land from Mexico. I hate to sound conspiracy brained, but there are so many more competent ways to try to handle the problem. Like, I don't know, cooperating with Mexican law enforcement, maybe building up a stronger relationship between Mexico and the US by training their law enforcement, working with them, collaborating with them, offering them intelligence. Instead, you want to drone strike the cartels. Why? You want to drone strike them to try to goad the Mexican government into understandably defending their national security and sovereignty from American interference. Then, when they respond, you are obviously subsequently going to sit there and say, I can't believe it. They send drugs, they send crime, and now they fight back, You're going to sit there and then justify invading them and taking all their shit because they're fighting back after you were trying to fight back against the drugs. I would have to guess that's what they're thinking of doing. I hate floating around these. I hate the conspiracy theory stuff, but Donald Trump does seem to be, he wants to be McKinley. He wants to be this tariff president who expands American territorial, basically, I don't know what the word, basically expanding American territory, basically expanding our borders as best he can. Taking up as much land, trying to annex as much territory as he possibly can. Disrespecting the sacrifices the Danes made in Afghanistan by proposing taking over Greenland by force. And now he seeks to basically force the hand of Mexico's president by drone striking Mexico. That's his plan now, is to force her hand by drone striking Mexico. There's so many more intelligent ways to go about it, but it's hard to tell whether or not this is a lack of intelligence or maliciousness or both. If it's a lack of intelligence, the solution would be working with the Mexican government to actually get these guys. If it's malice, they're trying to goad the Mexican government into a war. I don't know which they're trying to do. It's probably both, but this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Is a government of incompetent, malevolent demons who seek to hurt people. This entire administration is just an administration built around the cult of harming people they don't like. Whether it's Mexican Americans, or Mexican nationals in Mexico, or Arab people, or Palestinians, or Arab people who have the audacity to write an opinion on the internet, or whatever. These people, like, they're demonic. They're demonic. And that is why I believe they're doing this, to try to goad Mexico into defending themselves and then justifying an American invasion and annexation. Donald Trump needs to tread carefully, because I do not believe there will be enough support for a war in Mexico. But some part of me feels like there will be. Some part of me feels like enough of conservatives are going to jump up and say, you know what, it's about time we went to war with them. They send crime, they send horrible people. You know what's coming. You know what's going to happen. Megyn Kelly and Dave Smith and all of these, I expect Dave Smith to somehow justify this. Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin and all of these people are going to find a way to justify Donald Trump's warmongering nonsense. These people will do anything but admit that the Democratic Party was the right choice. Anything. So, whenever somebody tells you Donald Trump is the president of peace, point out the fact that not only did they go out of their way to blow up an entire apartment building of people to kill one guy, they're also planning to blow up Mexicans for the crime of being born into a country with a cartel problem.